They're still talking about it. 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 But they don't know what they're talking about. They think they know what they're talking about, but they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm going to tell you again, dear and beloved family member and friend, Grandpa is talking here. It's a revolution. It's all changing. Did you hear tonight? They said Iran is, or they're gonna risk or lift the sanctions. That's it. Nobody will call it capitulation. Nobody will say, "Hey, they won." I don't understand this. Do they think you're stupid? Apparently, they think you're stupid. Do they not know what's going on here? I just want to say this one more time, and I'm not saying this to gloat or anything like that. Iran won bigger than anything they could imagine. It's unbelievable. I can't put into words how big this is. It's incredible. That's part of it. That's part of it. I think I told you initially that there were many factors as to what's happening. But what precipitated this more, maybe not precipitated, but what maybe made it more illustrative was this insane, to use the term, this insane, I guess, message, this, whatever this was, where the president decides, with the help of somebody apparently, to go on Truth Social and spew what appears to be just insanity. Utter, unmistakable, unremitting insanity, where people said, what? Tucker Carlson, Candace, low IQ, don't look at me. Now we can guess what it is, and but I don't know. But all I know is it blew up. This signals this was the day. This was the day. How do I say this? That everything happened. This is what everything happened. This is what happened. This is it. I'm trying desperately to sound the alarm, to sound the klaxon, to alert the media, to whatever it is. But I am telling you, I mean it. This is so big. Candace, Tucker, everybody they have shot to these names. Baron Coleman. Okay, let me stop for a second. Baron Coleman lives in a world of research that I've never seen before. Wait a minute. Do you think this war is really done? Done, Renee. Done. Finished. I don't know what Israel's going to do. I don't know what Israel's going to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Israel's going to do, but that's the way that works. It's just unbelievable. But let me go back to bed. Thank you, dear heart. Baron Coleman. 3 hours a day. He's coming up with gems. And somebody said, well, did you see that the note that Tyler might have left underneath the keyboard may have been a note? And I said, where do I find this? There's a 3 hours here, 6 hours. The man works so much. Baron, please catalog this. Let us know where we can find this. This is incredible. Read what people are saying. Read what, and remember a couple of things too. This is the best. This is the best. This is the best. Read Max Blumenthal, his latest. I don't want to just repeat what people say because I don't want to say, well, there could be. Just follow this. Let me see if I can get this. Let me get this back to square one, okay? Back to square one. In the old days, we had these people. You had the left and you had the right. You had the obnoxious left and maybe the obnoxious right. You had these people. Okay, fine. And then, interestingly enough, then you had these folks who all of a sudden veered away, and it was one group. They were MAGA, they were pro-Trump, and then the other group were something else. You know, some people like this and not like that. Okay, one or the other. So as long as Trump was there, and Trump treated people with respect and at least acknowledged what they were saying. And by the way, I'm not attacking Trump. I told you before. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not pointing. I'm not saying somebody's right or wrong. Somebody's crazy. Nobody's crazy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you the way it is. I'm telling you strategically and tactically and actually what's happening. But in the old days, Candace would say, well, you know, Trump. We go, oh, as long as you like Trump, I don't know. And then this other group of people had nothing to do with it. And then Tucker would say, well, you know, Trump is going, oh, well, as long as you like Trump. So this left group would have nothing to do with them. And Trump was like this this thing, this divider that people would say, are you a Trump supporter? Because if you're a Trump supporter, well, no, you know, that kind of, okay, fine. So what happened then, which is the most important of them all, is that Trump decides, well, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to throw you all a bone. I'm going to give you a reason to break away from me so that you can then join the rest of the group. So you can join and I don't want to say, you can call it anti-Israel or anti-war or anti-insanity, whatever you want to do it. You can even call it anti-Semitic if you want. You'd be wrong, but go ahead and do it. But there were these people, because think about it, Tucker, Candace, everybody, go down the list. Megyn, Piers Morgan. This is a lint brush. This lint brush has more intelligence than Piers Morgan. But even Piers Morgan said, this Israeli position on Gaza, whatever, this is nowheresville. I'm getting out of here. Because Piers Morgan always plays it safe. Piers Morgan doesn't have an original thought in his body. Piers Morgan makes Geraldo Rivera look like Terrence Tao or Niels Bohr or Bertrand Russell. This guy's a Mama Luke. But even he realizes, okay, so what Trump said was, listen, I'll give you all. You can cut bait and move. So what happened was, remember, you had these folks, follow me on this, Candace, Tucker, whoever, that's about it. But there were others. And then they were still attracted to Trump to an extent. And because of that, they were completely kept in this group. Miss Day says, what will happen with Erica and TPUSA? Love your lives, line. Well, I'll tell you what, Miss Day, what's going to happen to them? They're through. They will go bye-bye. They're just off into the sunset, young lady. Just off into the sunset. You understand this? Okay. Now, here's this. Because of this fact, Trump in this email, this Truth Social, I mean, call everybody low IQ, losers, He even threw Megyn Kelly, didn't even explain why, but Alex Jones is crazy because of Sandy Hook, which he's not. And Alex Jones was so loyal to Trump, it wasn't even funny. Alex Jones had him on his show, and his show was huge and is huge when nobody else would do it. Tucker was absolutely positively an adherent. Tucker didn't go to college. Well, neither did any of the big tech people. I don't think Zuckerberg didn't, Gates didn't do it. Most of the brave, and we got to be careful, Mr. President, most of the brave men and women in your military who you expect to go fight wherever you go, they're not, be very careful. Be very careful when you say, didn't you finish college? That insults, because college is going to be irrelevant. Irrelevant. It's going to be like finishing school. It's going to be like charm school. It's not going to mean anything. It's not going to mean anything. Today, Mrs. Dolan and I had a little lunch in the hood. We had a lovely repast in the middle of the day. And there was this obnoxious young girl, this table next to us. She was talking about going to Harvard. Remember when that meant something? What do you think now? Lefties, losers, freaks, where just it didn't have that. There with a tie and Thurston Howell. It just doesn't have its. I'm sorry, maybe it's just me. It's like left-leaning lunatic indoctrination. It's over with. It's over with. It's over. It's done. They're like the TV folks. Okay. So now let me go back to what I'm saying. This might be circuitous, but that's my nature. So what Trump did was, Trump says basically, Tucker, you're free. Candace, you're free. Megyn, you're free. Alex, you're free. Okay. Now that he freed them, he walks into the middle. Remember that scene from Close Encounters of the Third Kind when all the little people came up and greeted Richard Dreyfuss and they walked off into that ship to take off? That's what happened. All of a sudden, Candace is like this. And all of a sudden, people are running up. Candace, sister. Dave Smith, excuse me, not Poole. Smith, Lib, Anna Kasparian, Junk Yogurt, all these others, Abby Martin, all these lefty types, and George Galloway, who thinks for some reason I don't know what he thinks about me. I don't know what he thinks, but anyway, think what you want. They're not going to be able to say, hey, unless they hold Candace forever guilty for ever having aligned themselves. But what I'm saying is now you're getting to the middle, and guess what everybody has in common? And I'm telling you the truth. If you haven't noticed this, you haven't paid attention. This adherence to the idea of sanity being construed as pro-Palestinian, it's over with. It's done. It's done. It's in one fell swoop, in 1 week, this past weekend, it's over. Trump couldn't have done better by going to Iran and say, here's everything and more. By the way, bring the Houthis into you too. Come on. No sanctions, no nothing. You're going to get you got a nuclear weapon and and you can say whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want. You can think whatever you want. Trump just said, basically, this, I'm out of here. I'm done. Now, I don't know what happened in the real world. I don't know what happened if he finally told Jared Kushner, screw it. I'm done with this. What am I getting out of this? Nobody is for this. Nobody is for the war. Nobody cares about Iran. Nobody cares. What am I doing? Why are you? And this is Trump's fault because he's the boss. The buck stops here. He's basically saying, what am I doing? I'm through. Mark Levin is going to have a heart attack. And if you've seen how they're becoming more and more insane, like this Laura Loomer, and listen, there was a time when she was a real interesting firebrand. She's just lost her mind. Ben Shapiro, who exactly are these people appealing to? I would call them in and saying, listen, whoever's paying them, I would say, you need somebody else. You need some really smart people to come in there and maybe give your side a chance. If you're trying to present the Israeli point of view, you got to get somebody new. I mean, these people make Alan Dershowitz look sweet and charming. At least he'll argue fact, history, something. He's only been doing this. The guy's 85 years old. He's pretty sharp. Listen, it's a free country. You can argue anything you want, but this lunacy is over. Do you understand what happened? Do you grasp what happened? This is done. This is done. And all these people are saying, what do we do now? And wait till you see Fox News what this, or they're going to just get away from it. You notice this? They haven't talked anything about Iran. Okay, well, they made a little bit of, what exactly are the, hey, Hannity, what's the terms of this? I got a new show. I play pool and smoke cigar. When I interview, we're not talking about your new show. What happened here? Where's Trump's position on the Middle East? I got a show. It's done. Like that. It's done. It's done. It's done. And now we have this new bevy, this new pool, this new tent of people who last week, the only thing that kept everybody apart was because of an apparent adherence to all that was Trump. They really believed this. They thought there was this, I don't know what the word is, but that's over with. And Trump's going to reevaluate what he's doing. He's going to be saying, what am I doing? He told J.D. Vance, you go to Pakistan, wherever it is, just get this thing done and get your ass back here, and that's it. And Marco, shut up. And Ted Cruz, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. This guy actually sat with Tucker and said, my primary mission, the reason why I'm in the Senate, why I ran for Senate, is to support Israel. This is what he said, the United States Senator. Look, you can say whatever you want. That will haunt you like the fart that just follows you. You can't, you're in an elevator and say, what's going on here? Why can't, it keeps following me. That's it. Now, construe this any way you want. I'm going to tell you exactly what the reality is. Whether it's good or bad or indifferent, doesn't matter. It's what the reality is. Serious. Second, they are circling. They're good. Melania, I'm telling you, they smell blood. They smell blood. Is it relevant? No. But what they're going to say is that what they're going to allege, because Epstein, talk about bad farce, will not go away. What they're going to say is that the reason why there was this reluctance, the reason why the president said, I'm not going to be involved in this, the reason why he said, I'm not going to talk about this or nothing to worry about with Epstein or whatever it is, the reason why he said this, the reason was they're going to say, because your wife was connected, or your wife, you didn't want her wife to be embarrassed. Whether this proves true or not, it's up to them. This is where they're going to go now. This is where Epstein will not go away. You've also got Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is out. Pam Bondi, I think, is smart enough to keep her mouth shut. They're going to be targeting her. They're after Eric Swalwell. They are going to cut his balls off. They've got this guy. So, I mean, they've got pictures, videos. He is just depraved. And you know what's good too? The Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, the one who went after Trump, they're going after Swalwell. That's how obvious it is. Do you see what's happening? Stop. Just nod. Between the Middle East war, whatever that is, the configuration of left and right, sacred cows, they're getting rid of them. The left is saying, get rid of this guy. We're done. Just like the Republicans said, get rid of George Santos. He's not worth it. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. He's weird. How they even paid attention to him for a second, I have no idea. Do you understand what's happening? Now, remember this. Remember this week. Remember the tweet. Remember the tweet. Remember it. Remember the president saying, quote, remember this. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. Now, that line is going to also haunt the president, the #1 state sponsor of terror. If they're the #1 sponsor of state terror, why are you making a deal with them? Why did you accept their 10-point plan versus your 15-point plan? Do you see this? This is when you spew, pardon my French, shit, and you don't remember what you're saying. This is Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk just said stuff. Please, please watch Christine Fekete, Fekete. You want to talk, watch her line about Sarah Huckabee Sanders and how your bosom should be between your shoulder and the middle and your elbow, or something like that. I mean, but then there's this demure look, this innocent look. She is the greatest. Erica is through. She is such a joke. We can't laugh anymore. Do you ever hear people who've been through such grief? They say, I can't cry anymore. I'm all cried out. I don't have any. That's what we are with her. We're the discussers. Say, please make her go away. She's not even amusing anymore. It's like we don't even know what to say. Trump writes, they're stupid people. Tucker, Megyn, Candace, and Alex. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off TV. Alex Jones has never wanted to be on TV ever. Alex Jones has said from the beginning of time, from the beginning, he has said repeatedly, he has said, I do not want to be on TV. They won't let me on TV. There is no such thing as TV. TV is dead. The Ed Sullivan Show is dead. Life magazine is dead. What are you talking about? Alex Jones on TV? What TV? What planet? Mr. President, I don't want Alex Jones on TV. Can you imagine Alex Jones saying, now let's take a break from our sponsor? A sponsor that he is forced to do? Ford Lincoln Mercury or something. What? No. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're all nuts, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. First of all, do you know why they won't allow these people on? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Renee says, Erica Kirk has been quiet lately. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, no, she's not. She's been very quiet. She's done. Maybe TPUSA, Renee, got it through their head. They said, look, this is a joke. And these other Colvette, these other losers, these are weird. Weird. Have you seen them? If you took Colvette and all these people and that Brylan, what's his name? Brylan Holdsworth or Breland Hollyhan? If you took him and Jared Kushner, they look like a bunch of puberty blockers. Don't they look like, seriously, don't they look like eunuchs or something? Seriously. There's something, are you kidding me? Erica Kirk is done, finished, it's through. It's all, it doesn't matter. We just, seriously, I used to love, she won't. People are saying, please. Fekete saying, please, give us another one. I'm having to recycle this. This Christine is so good. She can recycle. And don't forget some other great ones. You know who's damn good too. And by the way, it's great to see the ladies. You know, for the longest time, this is always like, this is a man's job. It's a man's role. The hell with that. Some of the best are ever. there's this new group of people. I saw them. They were pretty good. They're named Brandy and Billy. A.D. Fleet, tremendous. I think it's a girl. Christine Feckerty is great. Well, Wolves in Finance, he's another story. Valhalla's out of control. Nis C, she's terrific. Baron, Daily Fredo, Freddo. These are my channels. They're on my list. You tell me what you think I'm going to want to watch. What, CNN? And then Candace. Oh, remember Friday said, "Hey, Candace, that's all. I thought she wasn't off the way. Pull over. Let's see this." Not only did she cut your balls off, she puts them back, sews them back, and cuts them off again. And then takes them and slices and dices, and then minces like shallots, and then slices them, and then gives it back. I mean, just nobody does it. Nobody does it. Tucker tries to be the gentleman. Candace goes in for the kill. Says, "Where do you want it first? Where do you want it? I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." And by the way, when it comes to the actual Tyler Robinson case, Barron is a genius. But please do me a favor. Just can you catalog these? I can't watch 3 hours. I'd love to. Or a summary or PDF. Maybe you can help me with this, because some of the stuff he's saying is terrific. By the way, the stuff he's saying about the note might have been a note, underneath the keyboard. Well, that's not going to come into court. How do you can't say it could have been, it might have been. That's not trial stuff. That's our discussion. The stuff that we're saying is interesting for our point of view, but it doesn't explain, it can't come into court. I can't introduce, I found this. Well, could it have been a whatever? No, I don't know. It's like, what are you speculating? How do I cross-examine? Oh, there's something to it. But the point is, it creates a tremendous narrative, which is important. Because this guy's going to walk. There's nothing. Every time we think he has something, remember there was this, the Tyler, who is it? Twig, whatever his name is, Lance. You see Lance in Texas? Lance looks like Bigfoot. You ever see that? Bigfoot, they say, is the wife of the guy who actually did it, and she put on a suit, and he said, "Would you put the suit on? I don't want to wear the suit. Would you put the suit on? I don't want to wear the damn suit. Put the suit on, okay?" And she's walking like this. You ever see the Bigfoot standing up real straight and looking real empingado, looking at him like this, like, "Are you done with this? This is the last time I'm putting on this itchy, smelly suit, this grainy." Well, that's what Lance says. "Get away! I'm in Texas. Forget about that." "Hey, are you that guy that? Are you Lance Twig? Hey, how you doing? You have that old fuzzy hat on. You're trans? Are you transgender or transceiver, whatever you are? Transmission? What the hell are you? What are you? Are you a boy, a girl, or just gay? What you doing in Texas? Everybody know who this is? Hey, you don't know who this is? Yeah, that's right. Did you tell anybody? Well, why not? You still have that fuzzy hat? What was that? What was it? You know who you look like? You look like that guy from. You look like Dennis Quaid's character. You know when he goes all crazy with that hat, that thing he wears. It's weird, like a Sopwith camel. It's fuzzy. What the hell's with that fuzzy anyway? Seriously, I understand being gay. I'm fine, it's fine. But did you say? Now let's see. I'm gay now, and I need a stupid hat. This'll do. This'll do. Yeah, it's a fuzzy hat. Why? I don't know. I don't. It's like years ago, we watched that Village People. They had that one guy was a cowboy. So, all right, I guess I could see he's a cowboy. The other guy was a sailor. Okay. Man on a ship, yeah. Other one was a traffic cop. All right, authority. The other guy was a leather biker. I was like, what? Why is that? Why is that even? You got to put that. Oh, you got to put leather on all that. It's like vinyl. Good God, that must get real funky. You're doing Molly. Kids call it Molly. You out there dancing your ass off all day long with this leather chaps on. Dear God, that crotch funk must have been, oh Lord. Why did you pick that? How about a knife? How about metal, like a suit of armor? That would be even more inappropriate and stupid. Can't you just be gay without putting on this? What is this? Like the backlot of Warner Brothers? Are you a character? Look, I'm D'Artagnan. No, I just think you're a gay guy, and that's fine. I don't understand it. Lance, you don't mind if I call you Lance, do you? It's the stupidest thing. I don't. Now listen, you want to be gay? Fine, but you got to get a costume. What? You got to get a costume. You just can't be gay. Now I got one for you. I picked one out for you. What is it? No, you know those foam rubber things? It's like for a bagel shop in Newark. It looks like a foam rubber with a big glove. Hey, I'm Mr. Bagel. That's what you're going to wear. You're going to be a gay guy, but you got to wear that foam rubber bagel up here because you got to have an outfit. You just can't be gay today. You got to be a cosplay, not Cosby. He had his own problem. You got to be a cosplay. See, that's what you got to be, a cosplay. Like what's her name? Erica is a grieving cosplay wife. She's pretending she's grieving. See, you understand what I'm saying? Are you following this? Good. So make sure you're following this. Oh my God. I just wonder sometimes, does this make any sense? Seriously, does any of this stuff make any sense? Speaking of which, remember this one? Well, hang on. Remember, hang on, this. Was it this? Hang on. Where is this? Let me see. Let me see here. Oh, there she is. You can't see her. This was a picture of her. I got a great picture. I still have the picture of Erica sitting next to Verushka. Irina's, remember the woman from Ukraine who tragically was slaughtered by them, and she's in the State of the Union. And there's little Dabble Duya putting on her mentholatum or whatever. Anyway, I digress. All I know is, Candace, you are out of control. And don't forget, we were Candace when Candace wasn't cool. Remember that Barbara Mandrell? When it wasn't cool, when it wasn't, I'm telling you, I always thought she was great. The Erica, got it. Oh, and now, here's everybody's favorite rebarbator. You know him, you love him. This guy's tremendous. His name is Sparky. And Sparky said, did Andrew Colvett tattletale to Miriam et al. About President Trump telling him and Charlie Kirk he was going to take Miriam's money, the double crosser? Ooh. You know the story. According to Candace, Lady C, she said that Charlie told her, this gets into really good hearsay. Charlie told me, and Colvett was there too. They were in the White House or somewhere. And according to Candace, Candace said that Charlie said, that Trump said, that Miriam Adelson said, see? But doesn't matter. That she had wanted, she was going to give him $400 million or something. And what she wanted was not Gaza, but to annex the West Bank. This is Candace, heard it from Charlie, who heard Trump say this supposedly. And he was putting on his tie or doing something. And he said, you know what? F her. I'm going to F her over, or F her, and keep the money. Or something like that. Immediately thereafter, it was posited, it was opined, it was surmised, it was floated by our Miss Candace, Ms. Candace, that shortly thereafter it was Butler. And that after Butler, that's why the president ostensibly stopped any and all investigation into what happened. Why? because of the connection to and from maybe some foreign unit or hitman or team or something. Who knows? It's interesting. Oh, well, Don, I heard what you said about my money. Huh? Keep the money, huh? Okay. By the way, enjoy the Keystone State. Okay, got it. Next time we don't miss. By the way, that was a kill shot. And that was by the grace of God. Do you know that people always said didn't happen or it was fake? Is there anybody here who, I'm serious, anybody here who thinks that wasn't real? The picture of the bullet, the crack of the rifle, the ear. Anybody think that was just, maybe he gaffed himself like a wrestler? He had the tape. By the way, in the old days, whenever you watch professional wrestling, they had tape on their fingers. There was a blade there. You think maybe he did like that? Anybody think that? Anybody really think that? Does anybody really think that? So look at this. Shame they missed. Do you really mean that? Does anybody really say that? See, this is what every now and then we're having a great conversation. And then this comes along. Does that make any sense to you? Why would you say that? I'm all for being, tough and everything, but seriously, does anybody really think that? The moment I don't want anybody ever harmed, ever, period, in any way whatsoever. I don't care who you are, left, right, it doesn't matter. Especially people who've called themselves Christians and they believe in God and they believe in Jesus and do unto others, but they say these horrible things. I don't want to see anybody hurt, anybody, period, anybody. I don't want to see war. And the same ones, by the way, my favorite are the ones who say, "Oh, it's just terrible. See how what Trump is doing is terrible regarding war." But you want him to be dispatched. And it's the president of the United States. It's not Donald John Trump from Jamaica Estates, New York. It's the president of the United States. It's the office. You might not respect him, but to disrespect the office like that, to do, by the way, to do to our leaders what we've done to others, it's inexplicable. And I know people are and I know it's great to be fun. And believe me, nobody knows a troll better than I do. Nobody. But nobody really thinks that. Nobody really. But see, this is what happened. But that's the thing. But I want you to understand it. I want you to understand this. I want you to think about it. There are people out there who, and remember, I want everybody to speak. Sometimes it's good to see the ugly too. See it for yourself. And there are people who just, because they don't really. But I've never thought that. I don't want anybody hurt. Anybody. I don't really despise a person. I despise the candidacy. Joe Biden and that sort of thing. I don't want to see. It hurt me, the fact that you see somebody who was being advantaged of that. It hurt me. It hurt me even more that the country was being so abused. But I don't ever want to think that. There's something very wrong with that. And all this talk about people. Same thing with Charlie. They were making jokes about Charlie. That was that idiot. That was that ridiculous. That Jimmy, what's his face? Jimmy Kimmel, all that. You think that's funny? See, there are these little kids, by the way. We always forget this. There are some little kids who their daddy, and they're going to find out, they're going to see this, their daddy was taken out very violently. How do you think they're doing? How do you think they do? I don't know, forget Erica, forget her. She's a clown. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She's just... But the kids, where are they now? I hope Charlie's parents are taking over, because I don't think this dingbat is able to do it. I really don't. Those kids are going to need intense therapy. Intense therapy. And all I know is listening to my beloved wife all the time, we talk about kids and how they're just forever affected by this negatively. I mean, seriously, it's not funny. This is, and those men and women and the people in Gaza. What happened was it was a slaughter, the likes of which, I mean, I couldn't believe what people did. I couldn't believe what people were saying. Who said, well, that's the way it is. They wanted it. They created this fantasy that somehow they voted in Hamas and this is what you get. I mean, it is incredible. This situational relativism or moral relativism, rather, is the reason why people in the old days looked the other way when there were death camps. This is exactly why. We're losing our sensitivity and we're losing our humanity. We really are, especially from those people who profess to be so religious and they believe in God and Jesus and putting in the whole word and this. And how dare Trump say that the F word on Easter? But they laugh about him being dispatched. You gotta be careful how you watch it. Isn't that something? But either way, behold the new media. Behold what is happening. Television is dead. Here's Sparky. Sparky says, public offing Charlie Kirk was to remind President Trump they could still get to him. That's not why they did it. Though that's a maybe an intended or unintended what I'm trying to say, an intended or unintended benefit. Do you remember, Sparky, years ago when Barack Obama was like in the White House and there was somebody got into the White House? Remember they were in the elevator together or something? There was some breach, and that was the Secret Service saying, we can control this. Remember there was a time when they cleared out Washington years ago and Bush 43 W was in Virginia or someplace bike riding or something, and they didn't even tell him. Remember that? That was to let him know. Remember, we control this. Years ago, there was a comedian. There was somebody, I think there was a comedian. I said it, and I couldn't remember if I was remembering this incorrectly or if I had thought about this, but I had joked that one day the President Trump should walk out and say, hello. And he walks on, he's got ninjas around him. Ninjas, the black, the whole throwing stars, all that stuff. Ninjas. Real ninjas. And he says, yes. I know what you're thinking. Are these ninjas? Yes, they are. I have fired the Secret Service and I'm hiring ninjas. They're sworn allegiance to me. They also need, like they did during Caesar, the Praetorian Guard. He needs his own private group of people. But you're right about this, Sparky, because they do want you to know that they control this. They control this. And they control, and also they sometimes, well, here's the thing. They also, I'm sure, let you know. Mr. President, we have quashed, not squashed, but quashed 10, 20, whatever, 30, 50 attempts or threats this week. So we're on it. That's to let you know how unpopular you are. But Sparky, you said something before. See, if I ran this show, if I ran my movie, my book, my whatever, I would say, you know what I love? I love two things. I never like the direct angle. I like two things. I like a couple of things. Number one, I like false flags. They're very important. False flag is so critical. Hang on a minute. Just a minute. There we go. That should sound a lot better. Doesn't it sound better? Doesn't it sound better? Huh? Two things I would use. Number one, false flag. Number two, agent provocateur. You got it? You got it? You got it? Listen to what I'm saying. I think I saw a Sparko. There we go. Sparky said something. Sparky said, it was among several factors. Oh, yes, I agree. But I'll tell you what, Sparky, what I would do is this. I would use one of the reasons why in my movie, my threat, my le carré character, I would say, We want to take out Charlie. Why? Who are we? Doesn't matter who I am. Here's where I like it. Number one, the first person you think of when Charlie was taken out, whom did you think it was? Right off the bat. Say it. When Charlie was taken out, who was your first suspect? Say it. Write it. Think it. Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? When you first, if you were, you say, I don't know what this is. Who'd you think it was? Oh, wait, there's a bit of a lag. A little bit of a lag. Look at that. See? Look at tea time. Look at that. See that? TPUSA. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. Stop right there. TPUSA. Tim Pool. Tim Pool couldn't find his ass with two hands and a map. This guy would shit himself if he just... This guy with the edge. Okay. Who was it? Come on. Who was it? Who is it? Ooh, look at this. Satan Yahoo. You without a foreign. Okay. Two things. Number one, people would say, a lot of people said they would think it's Israel. I'm not saying that. That's what they said. And one of the reasons why they might have said this is because Netanyahu came out so quickly and said, was it me? Was it me? Who thought it was you? Well, just in case you did. So I would say, let's do it because they'll think they did it. Or, remember, in my movie. Or, the second one would be, we have to get rid of this guy. And anything other than something big is important. And this would be somebody within TPUSA. Because I realized that Charlie was laying on the pressure. He was just going. And they thought to themselves, we have to do something to get rid of him because he's better to, but plus they'll think it's somebody else. And also the agent provocateur is also somebody. Yeah, look at this. I know you would. But these folks, by the way, I always thought, I don't want to go for the obvious one. This is why Israel, to me, doesn't make any sense. Not doesn't make any sense. But then again, so you got to ask yourself, am I thinking clearly? And they don't. I don't know. Maybe these people are so crazy they say, you don't understand. We just kill people. I don't think so. I think somebody would say, whoa, wait a minute, hold it. First of all, we don't need to do this because, first of all, there's too many connections. And plus, we don't need him. Look, Charlie Kirk is big, but he's not that big. He's one of a million people. We have two courts basically seeking indictments against Netanyahu, who basically have claimed genocide inter alia, among other things, and we don't need to add to it. What are we doing this for? He's not the one pushing this. He's not. We've got enough problem. If there wasn't a Charlie Kirk, it wouldn't matter. It's going to be somebody else and somebody else. Charlie Kirk is not the only person. He's a movement. Doesn't make any sense. Plus, we're going to get caught, and plus, we're going to hurt somebody, and it doesn't matter. It's too. I know you're going to say you're going to hurt somebody. It's one thing to drop a bomb on a neighborhood. It's another thing to go in a crowd at UVU. I can see that very much saying, this is not worth our time. Or, as Sparky might say, they're just crazy. Go, nah, let's do it. Let's just show we can go anywhere we want to do anything. And make them wonder. And baby, make sure you come out right away and say you didn't do it to really throw them off. Israel, to me, I'm not feeling that. I mean, it's possible. I think it's somebody else. And the reason why it's got to be somebody else is because you've got to have somebody who wants to do it in public. Somebody who wants to do it in public and not somebody who just wants him removed. Why do they keep pushing Eric Kirk down our throats? You have to see what the internet is saying about the thing. Is this real life? I'm telling you what, by the way, Shannon, I don't think you're going to be seeing her anytime soon. I don't think so. I think that was then. I think that's it. And thank you, by the way. See, whenever you think about Charlie, though, you think, well, this makes sense, but this doesn't. So which one do I go for? Well, those are the suspects. Eliminate them all. But somebody somewhere wanted this grand. Also, don't lose sight of the theories other than the usual, the microphone, the exploding, the this and that. Don't exclude it. If somebody thought enough to bring it up, there may be something to this. I'm going to also say something, and Sparky, you're going to love this one. Sparky, you're going to love this. Ready for this, Sparky? This is for you, Sparky. I'm not saying I necessarily believe this, but I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you this because you're demented and I love you. And you know it's true. You're out of your mind. You're a crazy man. You're a wild man, and that's great. There are some people who are very, very proud of a particular event that took place, and it took place regarding beepers. Remember that? How clever. We took a device that you had that you never thought, and we had beepers that went off and were charged and that sort of thing. And it kind of sticks with the MO of what's happened in the past. Remember this fellow in the book was a Gideon sword after Black September. There's one particular individual who had a table in his home. They went in and they removed the top of it and they loaded it with explosives. And there was the engineer. Remember, they got this guy's phone, the engineer, and they had his cousin give his phone and they lined it. They packed it with plastique or Chemtex or something, and they called him. They said, "Hello, goodbye, bang," for the if somebody brought up the idea of a floating or an exploding microphone, I don't know anything about the internet goings on, but it would work and it would be consistent with, Sparky would say, with this kind of a theatrical, we can do anything. We can, remember, they gave, is it Trump, a beeper, a gold beeper. Now, those beepers are, well, you may have thought that was cool, except if you're on a plane and one of these things goes off, or you're next to a child and it goes off. I didn't like that. I don't know what people are, that was a complete misread, and that was not clever. So throw that into the mix. But here's the best part. We're never going to find out. Because Tyler's going to be acquitted. And we're never going to get to the bottom of this. We'll be saying this the rest of our lives. You're never going to be, nobody's looking for the answer. And sure as hell, President Trump ain't looking for the answer. Period. And, here we go. Von Anken is here. Baby Charlie Kirk was a look at what we can do. Perhaps, absolutely. I'm going to throw another one into the mix. Ready for this? Somebody's going to say this. Somebody's thinking, all right, Trump, let me tell you what you've done. You really let us down with this Iran thing. You really let us down. You capitulated. Well, you know what? We've been protecting you and your wife with Epstein. I'm not saying that. This is what they're going to say. Because remember, what they reveal doesn't have to be true. Sparky's here. Look at this. Sparky. Listen to Sparky. Listen to him. He says, sure, Charlie may not have been that big, but he knew President Trump personally, and TPUSA was willing to assist, so he was ideal to send Trump a message. Cannot rule that out, sir. Absolutely. And don't you think that caused a few orifices to pucker significantly? Don't think that was like, whoa. You know who this is? You know who this sounds like? It's like somebody who leaves a calling card. And plus, there's other stuff you're not going to know about. There may be somebody who's walking around in the back who says, listen, you know that business about the exploding microphone? It's real. We found shards of plastic in him. That was the reason why there's no metal, is that there was no bullet. It had rhodey or something. I'm just saying. These are all possibilities. They're not going to come up in the trial because nobody's going to affirmatively approve them one way or the other. They might be, you can't throw out an alternative theory as part of your reasonable doubt. Maybe, but no. You don't want to sound like a nut. These people are not going to be into this whole espionage stuff like we are. Not espionage, what have you. So that could very well be. So you could, remember, let's have a board. Look at Laurel. God bless you, Laurel. Thank you so much. That's a super sticker, by the way. Not just a sticker, but super. I want to have a room, when they have that wide erase, and we just start writing all these things, all these possibilities. And it's interesting, and you can eliminate them. It's a fascinating subject because there's only so many suspects and possibilities of them. But we'll see with this. And in the meantime, In the meantime, his death, what happened? Two things. Who came out? Who came out of the foxhole first? What did this happen? Who? Erica. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you think, listen to what I'm saying, if Erica Kirk had truly acted like a grieving widow and not come out, not announced her, whatever it was, think how different it would be. Think how different. TPUSA would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled their funds, their contributions. Here comes trouble. Here comes trouble. Here's Texas Beach Girl says President Trump isn't even looking into his attempt. I know, because and it's the only one so far, as Ms. Candace suggested, she intimated, opined, insinuated that the reason is because after it's alleged that Miriam Adelson was made aware of this, of his alleged statement to Colvett and Charlie, that there was that he said, F her, I'm going to keep the money and you can forget it or whatever. Just following that hypothesis, it kind of sort of makes sense. Like, okay, you think that's funny? Well, watch this. But we'll teach you how to play fast and loose with our, generosity or whatever the word is, whatever you want to call this thing. This is one of these things which is the most fascinating thing. And the reason why, by the way, is all of these ideas, which they may to you seem a bit odd, they may seem strange, it may be kind of weird, but they are not outside of the realm of possibilities. Remember something. You are the smartest people around. And if you think something, somebody else is thinking something. If you think something, somebody else is doing it. And there are so many people right now who are going through every conceivable. Oh, and by the way, remember, if I had my druthers, by the way, you know what druthers are? I'm sure you know this, but just in case you want to know, druthers are a kind of a contraction of a kind of a conflation of I'd rather, druther, I'd rather. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. All right. I'm just saying. Now, let's do this. Let's think about it this way. And this is critical. I wish I had a review from the 5 sources. I would have if I was a president, give me a review of Candace, Barron, Tucker, Megyn was lucky. They threw her in there. I don't think she poses much of a threat to there is that the landscaper? Bless her heart. That's a landscaper. Michelle says Charlie was gone from the second Erica was sent for him. Ooh, well, you know what? It's interesting. Michelle, what this reminds me of is that reminds me of the scene. Remember when the moment that Bugsy Siegel was taken out at what her name, Virginia Lake or Virginia, whatever her name, Virginia, remember her, the Butana, Virginia Hill or whatever. When they got him, remember they got him with the carbine through the eye. They say almost the second in L.A. that happened, 2 guys walked into the Riviera or the whatever it was and said, "We're in. We're in. The Flamingo. We're in. We're taking over." That's what you're saying. It's almost like immediately here she comes. But let me go back and ask you this question. Let's assume there have been no Erica. TPUSA would have come forward. Their people would have looked less creepy. They would have had this. Candace would have not. I mean, she may have she would have, I think at some particular point, questioned them, but she would have not been alerted to this as much by virtue of the red herring by the name of Erica. She wouldn't have done that. Does that make any sense to you? She would not have done that. She would not have been there. She would not have been a part of that immediately. So the thing I'm saying, which is very, very critical to understand and very interesting and important to know, is that things would have been so drastically different. Drastically. And the reason why is because it would have set a different dynamic into play. It would have been so different. It would have been so monumentally different. The trajectory, everything, the focus. But because of Erica, that was the worst thing they ever did, because immediately, all of a sudden, people said, what's that? Who's that? Why is she there? Why did they live? Who are these other people? And then the other ones came forward and says, and you're thinking, was she tapping that? And because there's, they're now going, they're going through every shred, every ounce, every story, every storyline, every paragraph, every synopsis, everything from her world. They're going through with that they would have never gone through had she not been there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Big time. Hang on a second. Let me just a minute. Here we go. Charlie was going. Okay. Brian Franken says, I need some clarification. If the weapon was a World War II Model 98, then it could not have been even in the 30-06 because there was a trade embargo with the German Mauser company at the time. All I know is they say the 30-06 fit this. If it was, again, it was a Model 98 Mauser, but that the round fit. It's a great point and worth our review. And by the way, something tells me Barron will review that immediately. That is not particularly my bailiwick. Christy Lynn says, I love Saturday evening chats with Grandpa Lionel. Thank you, sir. I love that. Christy, remember the song Keep Telling Me from the Judge, Grandpa? Tell me about the good old days. That's the greatest thing in the world because everybody loves their grandfather. Everybody. Brad Rung said, would you have represented Alex if asked back then? Alex Jones? Oh, absolutely. Not for free. I'm not a missionary, but, Texas says, when you crowdsource an investigation, you get thousands of eyes looking at the evidence. See all different things that someone else would have caught. Absolute. Texas, you're so smart. You're so right. You also get reactions to things. Leslie says, if it wasn't the lint brush, then I think at least we make some merch out of it on shirts and mugs. Thanks, Lionel, for your sensibilities. Thank you for that. It's funny you say that. Let me tell you something. One of the things that I pick up on is it's almost like a focus group in a sense. I want to know what people think. And I don't care what I think. I care what you think. I don't care what I think. It's like when you have a toy. Do you ever see these kids, these focus groups of toys? They put this toy on, the kids said, I like that. I don't know if kids even play with toys today. But anyway, in the old days when they did, they said, oh, I like this. Go with that. Why? I don't know why they like it. When you ask a jury, tell me the sensibility. Who drives you crazy? Erica. Oh. Erica doesn't even get it. Erica doesn't get it. Senya Milos. It's Orthodox Easter. Christ has risen. Love watching your show. Thank you. Yes, and to all of our Orthodox or Eastern Orthodox in particular, absolutely. This is your day, and we send you. I'm gonna get your name right. Sanya Miloseska. Sanya Miloseska. You're right about that. There was a wonderful. I saw this great piece. Did you see? Even Vladimir Putin was doing it. Have you always noticed this, by the way? Sign of the cross. Western, this way, right? Up, down. They do it like this. That's the opposite. It's the way. And it is. And it's important. Brad Rung says, oh, Peter Rieger, Louise Lasser, 87, Joel Green, 94. Louise Lasser was still one of the best with absolutely Mary Hartman, married to Woody Allen, that demented perv. So, in any event, going back to this, let me give you an example of something. Give me an example. When they were doing jury consulting on the OJ case, Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden, the prosecutors, wanted to go on this theory. The theory and the hypothesis that they wanted to advance was as follows. They wanted to show that because O.J. Simpson was exhibiting violence towards Nicole, repeated violence, and they had examples of pictures she kept in the vault where her face was beaten and he attacked her. They said that it naturally would escalate to the point where homicide would have been the natural end point when you imagine that particular level of violence over a period of time, and it escalates and exacerbates. And okay. The jury consultant said, you've got a huge, not a huge, but a large contingent of African American women, black women on that jury. And they say, no, we know, we are familiar with domestic violence. Maybe they themselves have been the victim of domestic violence, and they don't kill. They may kill other people, but not, it doesn't, there's Laurel again. Thank you, Laurel. It doesn't work that way. There have been couples who have been beating the hell out of each other for years, and in their community, it did not work. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's right or not, that's exactly what happened. And because of that particular interpretation, that's why they said, back off this theory. But they said, no, we know what we're doing. That's one of the reasons why they never caught on. Another one. Ready for this? Another one. Insiders said during the OJ case, the theory was that he was in the getaway car and he was thinking about, would you have defended OJ in 94? Yeah, if I had something, yeah. If there was something, that's like me asking you, would you appear in an orchestra? Would you play an instrument in an orchestra? Yeah, you're a musician. If you worked in an emergency room, would you work on somebody who came in? Yeah, you're a doctor. If you were a priest, would you listen to take somebody's confession? Obviously, if they're criminals, and well, yeah. But there have to be something to work with, some theory, as opposed to just teeing it up and losing, worthless causes, boozing ladles, as we call them. But anyway, thank you. The other theory was, when OJ was in the back of the car, when he was with Al Cowlings, remember that when he said he wrote a self-harm, you know what I mean? The S word note. Somebody said, nah, he wasn't going to do that. And a jury consultant said, or somebody said, actually it was a cop, said, quote, and this is a generic statement, which I'm sure can be broken, but here's what he said. He said, no, black folks don't commit. They may involve direct that homicidal tendencies elsewhere, but they don't do no. And I said, well, he said, no. That is not considered in certain communities as maybe different today with kids with the internet, but in certain cultures, certain ethnicities, they don't do that. It's just unheard of. It's like, why do things aren't that bad? That's a white man's thing. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, going back to what you originally said, crowdsourcing allows you to come forward and say, well, I think this is important. I think this is strange. I think this is important. And who knows, as Sparky might say, it might cause, for all we know, a jury someday, if I were to opine to kind of fix this in such a way where I were to say, there's a way of asking this. Detective Sparky, you're with the Utah police department. Yes. Did you ever consider the fact that there might have been foreign involvement as a suspect? What? You are aware of the concerns that foreign countries who have made overt threats against Mr. Kirk. Now, what am I doing? Objection. And I said, oh, no. I'm not speculating. I'm asking questions about his thoroughness, whether he ever considered that. I'm not saying foreign countries did this. I'm saying, how thorough were you? See, you always have to think of the right way of getting it in. All right, overruled. Ask your question. What do you think? Well, we didn't. Are you aware of the fact? In fact, are you aware? Did you know that on Mr. Kirk's own conversations on his, that you did peruse his social media, didn't you? During the course of your investigation? Did you read them? Did you follow them? Did your investigators peruse? Well, you are aware that he said, and then during my defense, Your Honor, we call Candace Owens. What? Objection. Wait a minute. What's your objection? This is irrelevant. No, she's not. Why? She basically bolstered the point because the police department, the state, Utah, said they had no basis for this. No reason to think that there might be other suspects. The reason why we want to put on Ms. Owens is not because of any particular, not because of her fame or her brilliance, but because of the fact that she can lay the groundwork to the fact that this was something which everybody knew. Everybody knew. In fact, she might very well, or others might have called them up and said, immediately after this happened, you were told, pursue this. Did you even bother? Well, we get all kinds of claims. Do you know who she is? This is not just some claim. She has more people. She's connected to more people. This is like going to a story. This is like 1,000 witnesses in one. Sparky says Mauser 98s weren't offered in 30-06 until after World War II, so the alleged weapon isn't an antique, as some imagine. Tyler's grandpa, probably younger than us. Not some Walter Brennan character. You're right about that. Hey, Luke. Hey, Hetty. Whoa, the Pepito. That's right. Interesting. Very good. Sparky, by the way, was in the military and on our side. You understand this? You got this? I like this. Candace is a joke. Okay, Tim. Okay, Timmy. Okay, Timmy. Okay. Good, Timmy. Good. I'm going to write something. You go ahead, Timmy. Write something down there, son. Write something down. What do I write? Well, Timmy, why don't you write something that's crazy? Like Candace is a joke. Okay. How do you spell that? Carefully. Very carefully. I love America. And by God, you can say whatever you want. Just don't be unnecessarily obstreperous or contumacious. Tim Pools crying. Oh, what happened to that guy? Seriously, don't you say, are you going to wear that? You wear that thing all the time? You're going to wear that hat? Remember David Crosby, at the end of his life, he wore that doily? Remember that thing, that smelly pink doily he wore in his head? What the hell is that thing? You got to wear that all the time? That's your thing? Or you like The Edge? What are you, a second story man? Remember Michael Parks? And then came Bronson. That was a show in the, 70s? Nobody remembers it. He rode the motorcycle. Michael Parks or Park. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but that's what I do. I'm tangential. I'm desultory. I'm discursive. I'm elliptical. I'm windswept. Anyway, so back to where we are. Mr. President, thank you. And I can see this. Hello, Candace? Yeah. Mr. President, is that you? It sure is, yeah. How'd you like that? Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, shit, my pleasure. Did you like that when I called you an IQ? Yeah. Oh. Did you love this one? Hang on, Candace. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Where's that thing? Hang on. This is the president. Can you tell me where that thing? Thank you very much. Here we go. Candace, hang on. Did you get this one? You're gonna love this. Oh, here, hang on a minute. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Or crazy. I like the way I put quotes around the crazy, because I didn't say you were crazy. I put quotes around it. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more, get this, don't laugh now, spit out your coffee. Don't be drinking coffee when I read this to you, okay? Did you see this one? Yeah. Or you're going to love this. This is what he said. He did this before he sent it. Now I want you to hear it from me ahead of time so you know it's me. Listen to this. I wrote this. I said that she is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't you really think, seriously, don't you think, did you ever remember this one? Did you ever? Okay, I'm going to show you something. Did you ever remember this? I'm going to show you something right now. This is so mean. This is so mean, but I'm going to show it to you, all right? I'm going to show this to you because it's important that you know this. Oh, hang on a minute. It's important that you know this, and it's important that you recognize. You're gonna laugh at this. You're gonna laugh at this. Maybe you'll laugh at it. I don't know. Hang on a minute. I think you'll laugh at it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is it. Okay, I'm going to show you this one. This is a good one. This is a cleaner one. There was a guy named Senor Wences years ago, and he was the guy who had his hand. Remember that? He goes, "Hello, Johnny. Hello, Johnny." Remember that one? Of course you don't remember that one because you're not 100 years old. You're not going to remember this. You're not going to remember Senor Wences. You're not going to do it because it was a long time ago, and what are you going to do? But I'm going to show this to you. This, to me, I got to show this to you. This is so cool. Not cruel. It's not cruel. It's just kind of funny. I think it's kind of sort of funny because it is. It's just beautiful. Hey, hang on a minute. You're gonna love this. Just a minute. Let me show you this. No, that's not it. That's not it. Just a minute. Talk amongst yourself. I should have done this before, but I didn't because I just thought about it now. I thought about it now, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm gonna. You see this and this and you. I'm going to try this. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it either. Talk amongst yourself. I'm going to do it. Somehow I'm going to do this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Just a minute. Okay, hang on a minute. Just a minute. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, come on. I'm going to do it. Talk about it. I don't want to do this next time because if I do it next time, it's a waste of time. You're gonna miss the beauty of this. You're gonna miss the beauty. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Okay, I think we're on to something here. Here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, dokie. All right, here we go. Ready for this? Okay, this. Tell me this doesn't look like our girl. I'm sorry. That is so sad. That's Senor Wences. Do you remember who he was? Does this make any sense? Do you know who he was? Senor Wences. Tell me. Seriously. All this stuff, E.T., this was 19... I'm sorry. Am I cruel? It's cruel. It's cruel. But you know what? And this woman actually, honest to God, she's actually involving herself in this stuff. It's like, what are you doing? For the love of God. I don't understand why people do this. That was the stupidest. Let me explain to you about something about her. I don't know if she is man, woman. I have no independent knowledge. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, presume doesn't really matter. But you got to ask yourself this question. Why does this even come up? Why does it even, why? Did anybody ever think of Jill Biden? No. Kamala Harris? No. Janet Reno? No. Nobody never came up. Nobody wrote it. It never came up. It just never came up. I'm trying to think about a lot of these kind of weird, kind of androgynous actresses and the like. The question I have is, which is so interesting, is that why does it come up now? I'm not saying where there's smoke, there's fire, but you got to ask yourself, of all the things, why does this come up now? Why does this come up now? How did it come up ever? Why is there this? Again, that's not necessarily proof of anything, but you got to ask yourself, there's something there. There's something in the myth. It's like, for example, Yeti. I'm not suggesting she's on the same level or the story is on the same level of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but there's something there. Somebody a long time says, you got to understand something right there. We saw this damn thing. Oh, maybe there's something to it. They didn't say this in Colorado. They didn't say this in Denver. They didn't say this in Fort Myers, Florida. No, it was there. It's always there. The Loch Ness Monster, not the Lake Superior, but you know what I mean? Or the Lake Okeechobee. There's something there. I don't know what it is. But that's another one. I would say, lady, do yourself a favor. Go away. You don't want to go to trial. Why are you doing this? Every time you file anything, every time there's an answer, a cross claim, a request for documents or production, there you go. There you go. You're going to be back in court and somebody's going to pick up the story again. I don't understand it. Why don't people just let things go? You understand this? Let things go. Just let them go. It's one of those things that just doesn't make, it makes no sense. Parquet butter had the hand puppet too. Parquet. Remember in the old days? Chiffon. Think about this. Remember chiffon was, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Here's a guy who said, he spoke Spanish. He was Castilian. He goes, what am I going to do? I have no job. I have no nothing. I have no. Wait a minute. Let me get the. Wait a minute. Hey, hello, Johnny. Nah, it's stupid. How about somebody want to go with my hand, los manos de caballo? Hello, Johnny. Hello. Let me put on the wig. Oh, hello. No. Hello, Johnny. It's all right. And you know that when Senor Wences was at his hotel by himself, he's on the road. Think about this. Remember, did you ever see I remember one time at the Garden, we're leaving Madison Square Garden, they had these trucks that back up for a Kiss or something. I mean, you would have, oh my God, the equipment is incredible. And so here's his equipment. And a little wig. And when he was back at the hotel by himself, and he was on the road, and he had a few drinks, and he goes, wait a minute, let me get my, hello, little girl, hello, what is your name? You know it. He got weird with a wig in the hand. You know it. Come on, this is Johnny. Johnny? It's like the Topo Gigio days. There was a time when it was like it mattered to us. This was our entertainment. Today you've got, remember that guy Fred? It was a computer generated thing on Captain Kangaroo. Oh my God, it was so sad. But it was like Pong. Any of you ever play Pong? Well, this is great. It was so sad. Oh my God. All right, my friends. So anyway, Candace, you are seeing an elevation. You are seeing yourself elevated to a level, to a status, to a stratosphere, a stratospheric point, the likes of which we have never seen before. I'm telling you, you are it. You are you. And everywhere anybody turns around, every time that somebody tries to hurt her, she's elevated more and more and more. And if I didn't know about it, the president knew exactly what he was doing. Maybe it was an old time. Who I don't know. With this president, you don't know. So, my friends, the bottom line is simply this. We will continue with this. This is going to be great. We're going to be watching this. The trial continues with Tyler. It's going to be interesting. Remember, let me go back to what I was saying about Tyler. Keep in mind this. Tyler does not have to prove anything. I will bet you that the admission, remember, it was suggested, if I recall correctly, might have even been through Mr. Coleman. I don't know. I think it might have been where the idea that Lance, that it wasn't a confession, it wasn't a written, but it was his recollection of what was written or something. We don't even know if the actual letters or text messages or whatever it is, we're not even sure if that was even called into issue. Also, the best evidence rule, something which is rarely used, but it's still used regarding the production of originals. You must introduce the original before you introduce a copy. They've gotten away with it from a little bit, but you can still have fun with that. So we don't know where that's going. So believe it or not, admissions may be kept out, or a motion in limine told the juries to disregard this because of the fact that there is no confession. What's the confession? You can't have confessions about reluctance. I'm not sure. I miss you. I'm the guy. What do you mean, I'm the guy? What does this mean? That's not a confession. And the police never followed them. And when he did speak to the police, I believe after Miranda, he said, I'm not going to talk. So let's assume for the sake of argument, there's no confession. So what do we have now? The rifle. And what do we have with the rifle? Nothing. Lint brush. Nothing. You have a rifle that has you cannot connect it back, whether it's a Mauser 98, 30-06, a Remington, doesn't really matter. A 50 cal, a Barrett, it doesn't matter. It cannot be linked. And if it cannot be linked, it should also not be discussed or presented in court because that is prejudicial. You keep seeing this rifle, you keep saying, well, it's his DNA was on, it's his rifle. And could it have been wrapped in towels to keep the DNA from smudging? I don't know. So, but the point is, it could very well be kept out of evidence because it's not linked. Again, it's not linked. It's not linked. There's no reason to introduce something that's not connected whatsoever. And because of that fact, guess what? Guess what? Nobody mentions it. Nobody mentions it. Is that great or what? Is that not fantastic? So, my friends, imagine going to a trial where you have no weapon and no confession. No eyewitness. Maybe you've got him wearing those tennis shoes. Maybe he was there. Okay. A lot of people were there. What does that mean? Can you imagine if the case falls apart? And then they're saying, well, why was this case brought? Who brought this? Why? Why him? And if there is a God, or jury God or trial God, he will take the stand. And if he does take the stand, even better. And I would tell him, listen, normally I would say, Tyler, we defendants don't take the stand, but your ass is on the line here. And if you've got nothing to lose, you get up there. Plus, I want to show the jury how stupid this guy is. I want to say, hey, you hear him? You hear him? You hear the guy? You hear him? This is your mastermind. By the way, let's read some of his. If it even comes in, the text messages may not. Nothing may come in. Texas Beach Girl says, lend your lint brush to the defense. Listen, I'm telling you. Anyway, dear friends, an hour and 30 tonight. Wasn't this fun? Spending Saturday night with Grandpa. Don't you know that? Hey, everybody. Yeah. Hit it. Well, was a good one. Hear that? Sometimes you can really to drag it out like that. It's an art. You may laugh at this. Look at this. Oh, there she is. How about a big, 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 huge fan, a huge hello to this genius. This genius. ASD. Well, this is Fleet. ASD Fleet. Do you have a name? Do you have a name? Seriously. He the best. Edie says, oh, thank you so much. Love the lovely L's. Thank you so much for that, Edie. Fleet is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Have you ever? Oh my God. Look at the love. Look at that. Yes, my name. Hang on. Oh. Yes. Yo soy nombre es Ashley or Fleet. You know, Fleet, that's the enema company. I'm just saying. Ashley. Remember this girl, Ashley. I don't know where your genius comes from. I don't know anything about birthing no babies or putting together the animation is better than it's unbelievable. Do yourself a favor. Ashley is tremendous. Unbelievable. Seriously. I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm just going to leave that up there. Enough. I can't say enough about her. She is just, in fact, hang on. There's a, I love great talent. And I love people who come along and all of a sudden they have this incredible, how do I say this? This incredible talent. They nail it. And they can put things together that are so, here we go. they got Baron. Here, this is it. This is what I want. This is what I want right here. This is, make sure you write this down. Where is it? God, hang on a minute. Help me here. So there we go. This is it. This is Ashley's. Please go. She is just the best. Absolutely the best. Superior. I just want to leave that right there one more time. Make a note of this. Go and sign up and follow her. Unbelievable. I mean, better than, and the fact that she has dared honored me with my own particular visage, my own particular persona grata, not non grata, persona grata. I'm a PG, not a PNG. Anyway, she's phenomenal. All right, my friends, look at this. Fleet, you rock. Unbelievable. Shabbat shalom, daddy's home. Oh, you're beautiful. All right, my friends, listen, have a great day. Thank you so much. Please, one more thing. I ask you to follow Mrs. L. There is a video that is, I don't want to, if you do not cry by watching this incredible, this family, this group of people, you must have no heart. This is her link. It's Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's Warriors. That's the link right there. Just click onto this. Watch this family. They are just, oh my God. I don't even know how to say it. You will weep to see the hurt and their child that they lost. This is Todd and Mia Minor. So watch this. It is incredible. Watch this. In any event, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. I thank you so much for all of your attention, all of your focus, all of everything that you've done. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And make sure, by the way, that you continue to support not just me, well, of course me, but the independents and the people who come along. Because remember, we're we're like this new wave. We've been around for a while, but we're different. We're different. I can't explain. I can't put it into other words, but we are different. And anyway, I love you all. Have a great and glorious Saturday. Happy Easter to all of our Eastern Orthodox friends. And until we meet again tomorrow, remember this. I say this with all due respect and all due love. Thank you. And here's the valedictory. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.